Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about the new Criterion Collection Blu Ray release of Martin Scorsese's 1993 film, The Age of Innocence, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Winona Ryder. I'll be telling you my thoughts on that. But first, my name is Brian Hussar, and welcome to my channel. I make my videos when I can, when my children allow me. Like right now, they're both at school and my wife is at work, so I'm a free stay-at-home daddy. This is where I talk about my passions of the Beatles, music, movies, and musical theater. If you like what you see here, please click that subscribe button right there. And if you like this video, please give me a big old thumbs up. So, The Age of Innocence. I am a Martin Scorsese fan, a fanatic. As I think you've heard me say on this channel before, people who followed me for a long time. Scorsese is to me in film what the Beatles are to me in music. I am obsessed. Not just his narrative films, but his documentaries. I have several books. He is a hero, and Spielberg is right under him for me. When The Age of Innocence came out, much had been made about this being a costume drama, a costume film, a romantic film. I think costume film, I think Raging Bull qualifies as a costume film taking place in the 40s, 50s, and early 60s. Goodfellas classifies as a costume film. But this, you think costume film, you think romantic, you think 1870s, you think of the Merchant Ivory films. The films directed by James Ivory, A Room with a View, Howard's End, Remains of the Day, Maurice. But here, Scorsese was taking this Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Edith Wharton about New York in the 1870s, concerning Newland Archer, who's an attorney engaged to be married to May Welland, the Winona Ryder character, and around the time of their engagement, her cousin, the Countess Olenska, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, comes back to New York. And you see that Newland Archer always had feelings for the Countess Olenska, and the Countess Olenska for him. And the Countess Olenska is a free person. She is married to a count, and she's trying to get out of the marriage. It's been an unhappy marriage, but in that society, you don't divorce so easily. What I love about this film is that everything is like conspiring to keep Newland Archer trapped in this world, when he really wants to get away with Countess Olenska. Even Countess Olenska, she's in love with him, and he's really in love with her. She sort of pushes him to marry May, because she loves that traditional aspect of him. But it's Winona Ryder's character, May, who in the end really sets things straight. This is Scorsese's second widescreen film after Cape Fear, which was his first, which he shot that for the first time in his career in anamorphic Panavision 2:3:5 aspect ratio. This one he shot in the widescreen Super 35 format, so he didn't have to use anamorphic lenses. Google Super 35 and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful looking film. One of the issues I had at the time when I saw this in the theater, day of release, was a couple of months later, Scorsese's close friend, Steven Spielberg, shocked everybody and released Schindler's List. Shocked me. And that's when I became a full-on Spielberg fan, and I went back and watched all the other films that I was snobbish over, and I saw other things in them. The attitude I then had with Age of Innocence was Scorsese got too enamored with the place settings, the beautiful scenery, and all this other stuff happening. But the more I've watched The Age of Innocence, and I've watched it over and over and over and over again, I got what Scorsese was trying to do. And Scorsese has since said what he was trying to do. Scorsese goes to these beautiful close-ups of the table settings and the food plating. It's elaborately arranged. There's a sequence where Newland Archer is talking to the head of his law firm. They're having just a dinner between two people, where he's saying that the family wants him to use his influence to discourage Countess Olenska from getting a divorce. And Newland doesn't want to be a part because he's engaged to her cousin, but the family wants him. As this dialogue scene is going on, Scorsese cuts to a bowl of soup being prepared and then winding up in front of the character's face and him putting crackers in it and start eating it. Then he cuts to a fish being prepared and the sides all elaborately and winding up in front of Newland Archer. Then he cuts to a roasted chicken being carved and plated and with gravy being put on top, elaborately plated in front of Newland, and then another one. So I kind of was like, this is an important dialogue scene. Shouldn't we be paying attention to this? But the thing is, what Scorsese's trying to show is that the dialogue, him being asked to do this task, and the food, the rituals of this society, the New York aristocracy in the 1870s, you could say it's similar to the mob in Goodfellas. All of this is making Newland Archer claustrophobic and wanting to get out. So the food, the elaborate place settings, and the code. The thing is, in the film you find out people think Newland Archer is having an affair with the Countess Olenska. But they don't say it. Nobody comes out and says it. And then you think the Winona Ryder character of May is so naive. Watch the film. Everybody seems to know what's going on. And I don't want to give spoilers away, but I am going to give some spoilers. So fast forward this part right now. Newland Archer and the Countess Olenska, they never consummate anything. They try to, but they can't. This is a PG film. So you think about two people who are in love and they have this passion for each other. You have to sit 2 hours and 20 minutes and they don't get it on. That's true, and it's all about repression. This is Scorsese's one of his most beautiful looking films too, and they had to do a lot of things to make New York look like it did in the 1870s. You couldn't shoot in Manhattan, so the little town in New York called Troy stood in for that. There's a lot of beautiful matte paintings. This should have been out on Blu Ray years ago. I'm glad Criterion had picked it up. Special features are a bit slim, but then again, Scorsese is not one to do audio commentaries nowadays. New 5.1 surround transfer of the sound. The sound, considering it's a film that takes place in the 1870s and its period, is very immersive. This is a new 4K transfer supervised by Scorsese, so that is really good. So he took great care. As you know, with Criterion, if it's director approved, give you their seal of approval. But if you're a Scorsese fan, this is a masterpiece. And since I've seen it so many times, I'm convinced this is one of his boldest films. A film that takes place during an earlier period, the 1700s, but just as bold that I compare it to is Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, another coded society. But Age of Innocence is a masterpiece. It is it's one of Scorsese's must-sees, in my opinion. The new Criterion Collection release of Scorsese's Age of Innocence, highly recommended. That is it for today. Please leave me a comment below if you have any questions or opinion, or if you'd like me to talk about something. Occasionally I do unedited videos, as a lot of you know. And again, I make my videos when I can, when my children allow me. Keep physical media alive, and until we meet again.